watching. You are watching.
You're watching. You guys are watching.
You're watching. Soulful discussion.
So hi, good morning. How you doing today?
Pretty good, thank you.
All right. I'm doing great. And so, how did our paths cross today? How did we just meet right now?
I was looking for my parents. I left my wetsuit in their car, so I have to go find that real quick.
Absolutely. And you can ready to go out and surf, right?
Yeah, basically.
Is this like optimal weather for like doing that? Do you prefer like this type of weather?
This is like more of. It's all right.
Okay. I don't know much about surfing. That's why I'm asking.
The conditions are really good for like learning how to surf.
I see. So you're learning. What stage are you at right now? Beginning?
Oh no, I'm teaching.
You're teaching.
Oh, I'm teaching.
Sweet.
Yeah.
How long have you been teaching for?
Like 2 summers now.
Okay. That's sweet, man. That's pretty nice. All right. So what did I approach you about? What are we doing today?
We're doing an interview. You're gonna ask me about feet. That one really stuck with me just because I was just like,
Sticks with everybody.
It should, Everyone has, as you said, their own opinion about feet.
Yeah. What were the other 2 topics?
I don't remember.
Okay, you got stuck on the feet.
I got stuck on the feet. I feel like a lot of people get stuck on the feet.
They do. So it's mental health, reflexology.
There you go.
And so during the interview, I'm going to show you how, through my approach, they all tie together.
Yeah.
So first of all, mental health, what are some topics you kind of follow closely, you kind of research, that you know about, anything like that?
I've noticed a lot of schools around here kind of promote, hey, take care of your mental health, school's important, but also, take care of your mental health, but, obviously it's not, plausible for everybody, because everyone's situation is different. You can't say that, but, like anything, mental health is something you work at. It's like physical health. It's something you work at. It's not everyone has the time to take care of it. Not everyone has the time to take care of their mind. Not everyone has the time to take care of their body.
It's just so many different things: mental, emotional, physical. Yeah. So today we're going to be talking about depression and anxiety, and I learned of a way, a tactic, to kind of deal with it. It's like a therapeutic process.
Yes.
So I'm going to ask them to tell you about it, and I want to know what your feedback is on how you feel about it. You agree with it, you disagree. Let me know once you get there. Okay. What about reflexology? You familiar?
No.
Okay, so you probably are. What I find from a lot of people is when I ask them that, maybe you don't know the term, but when I start to explain it, you'll probably be like, yeah, I know about that. So we'll dive into that, okay? So let's start with the questions. What's something you like that other people might find to be weird? And it could be like a hobby you have, or maybe a way you eat your food, something like that. Maybe a type of music you listen to.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I think a lot of majority of things are mainstream now.
Okay.
Just because the internet kind of can bring these different communities together.
Yeah.
So everything seems popularized, at least to some degree.
So there's nothing that you do that kind of separates you from other people when people are like, oh, okay, you kind of do that. That's kind of strange or anything like that. Nothing. You don't have to ask us.
I have no idea. It's like when someone asks you, oh, what's your favorite music? It's like, I don't know.
Yeah, because you may be all over the place right with that. Okay. Well, let's go to the next question, okay? Has anyone ever made you feel insecure about your body or body part before?
Yeah.
Okay.
So I think it's not anything they did. It was just they
maybe
mentioned
indirectly?
something. No, yeah, it was just oh, you have hip dips. And I'm like, what are hip dips? And you're like, oh, it's when your hip dips go like this. And I'm like, oh. And I didn't like that, and I was just like, oh, but I don't really care. Okay. It always reverts back to I don't really care.
Really?
It's what I have. I'm not gonna fix it. So
Absolutely.
I don't really.
So how did you get to that point in your life where maybe things like that people say, or where you think it doesn't bother you? How did you get to that point?
Because I don't have to see them if I don't want to.
That's a good point. I haven't heard anybody say it like that before. That's absolutely good. I don't have to be around you if I don't want to and listen to your negativity. That's absolutely
so
good.
Easy. It's we're in LA. It's a big area.
That's
I
a
don't
good
have to
one.
see
I like
if I
that.
don't want to.
If there was one thing you could change about yourself, and it doesn't have to be physical, what would you change?
I just want long hair.
Okay.
That's it's right now. It's medium. Yeah. Okay. I want I'm just tired of waiting. I'm not a very patient person. I just want long hair.
Yeah. It seems pretty long. I mean, but you know, I have very short hair, so that's probably what it is. But it seems long. Yeah,
exactly. I want girl long hair. You know what I mean?
You want it down to like your back.
Exactly.
Oh, okay, got it. Yeah, my girlfriend, she just went and got a haircut. Her hair was growing to that length. She went and got a haircut, and the lady took off way more than what she wanted it to be, and it was
very
she's not happy about that.
Exactly.
So let's get into these questions now. How do you feel about your feet? What are your thoughts?
I think they're pretty nice. Like, I feel like if people have nice feet, I think their first instinct, because feet pics are usually like kind of like the joke. I think people do it actually for serious, like seriously, and I'm like, yeah, I can sell some feet pics.
Yeah, there's some people who do it, and they make some pretty good money, man. Like, it's crazy, man.
It is crazy.
So have you ever received any compliments before? Anybody ever told you had nice feet?
Not really. It's more of just like, you know, my mom, like
the nail color.
Exactly.
Stuff like that.
It's not just like you have nice feet. It's
okay.
It's nothing like that.
All right. So how would you feel if you did get a compliment about that?
I'll be like, oh, okay, that's weird.
Now, why is it weird? Tell me why it's weird.
Like, why are you looking at my feet like that?
Is it because it's an uncommon comment?
It's more of like that. You're just like, hey, you got really nice, like, you know, fingernails. It's like, that was weird.
Because believe it or not, so like me on the receiving end, right? I've been sitting. I went and did my taxes with a lady, and I was sitting there, and she's like, just out of the blue, she says, "I have nice nails." She's like, "You have nice like fingernails, like and everything." She started mentioning like the different like this thing right here is called like a moon or something like that. And she was talking about all kinds of stuff, and like she was like, "Yeah, that means this and this and that." And I was just like, "Okay." I was like, "Thanks." I was like, "Learn something new today." But so what I want to get to about that though, because like, so you said that like somebody looking at your feet like that's kind of weird.
Yeah.
But if they approach you like said you have nice hair, nice eyes, because they're still looking at something, right? But
I feel like they're intentionally looking at it. For like, you know, I'm looking at you, I can like compliment your facial features. But if I'm looking down, I'm like looking for it. You know what I mean?
But like some people look from top to bottom, right? So what if that's just something like they kind of like looked at you and like kind of like did that, and then they said that? No, you're just stuck on the
it's a strange compliment.
I'm just asking.
It's like, oh, you got nice kneecaps. Like,
yeah.
All right, cool. Like,
I like it. All right.
Weird.
So in terms of compliments you receive from men and women, not just about your feet, but in general, okay, does one feel better than the other? Do you feel differently about them?
I don't know. I think like men, sometimes uncomfortable depending how they say it and depending who they are. Like, you know, it's like an older guy, I'm just like, that was weird. All right. But
where
if
did that
it's
come
like,
from?
Yeah, exactly. But if it's like someone my age or close to my age, like I'm just like, all right, I'm cute, thank you.
Absolutely.
So context is really important. For a girl, I know it's just like, oh my god, like I look good as hell today. Like you know, it's just like, again, context is important, and you know, it just depends.
So how old are you, first of all?
I'm 18.
So people between like the ages of like 18 to maybe like 23, 24.
Yeah, around the 20.
That feels comfortable.
Like even 30 range, I'm like, all right, that's fine.
That feels comfortable.
Like,
but you're talking about like somebody who's like maybe like 40, 50.
Yeah.
Come up to you.
I've had like someone older than me. It's like, you have a very nice color. You're like very great, like golden brown. I'm like, okay, sir.
That tends to happen.
I'm just trying to help you out, get you your ice cream because I was working at the time.
Yeah. Absolutely. That's interesting. So. And the reason I asked you that question about the difference between like the compliments you receive from men and women, I interviewed a lady before. She mentioned to me that a lot of times like women from a young age are like taught to be in competition, and not directly like from anybody, but like indirectly through society and stuff like that.
But you have to be like, oh, you have to be better like that, and you have to be compared constantly. But like, once you realize like I don't need this comparison, they're doing their own thing, I'm doing my own thing, that's all that matters, right?
Absolutely. What would your thoughts be if you started to date someone who's insecure? How would you feel about that?
That's weird.
You think it's weird?
Yeah, I don't know. I think that's like something.
You're 18 too, though, so you haven't maybe experienced a lot of different things.
I haven't experienced many feet men yet.
Yeah, exactly. So that would be all new for you.
Yeah, so I don't know how I'd react to that. I'd be like, that's strange.
Okay.
It's not something I'm like not opposed to trying, but
it would take you a time to adjust to it.
Yeah.
Like get used to it. Yeah. I see. And they probably shouldn't just come up to you immediately and be like, hey, this
that
is
shouldn't
my
be
thing.
like the
It should
like
be more
first
interest in you
thing.
and then somewhere down the road,
Exactly.
right? Absolutely. When do you think is the appropriate time for when you meet somebody to like talk about things that you're into, like in terms of intimacy, and not just sexually intimacy? I'm talking about like mental, emotional intimacy. Like, where do you see yourself going and things like that? When should you talk about those things?
Like once you feel comfortable, but for me, like it's easy for me to kind of get comfortable around people. It's just harder for me to open up to things.
Yeah.
Like say it's like something's really bothering me, like you have basically a mask in front of people. Like right now,
does, yeah.
Exactly. So once you feel comfortable to unveil that mask,
you
like
take it off, yeah,
then like you can dive into all of that, and usually gets the ball rolling.
It does.
And you're just like more open about stuff, and like
that's
really
cool.
dive into it.
I like that. How often do you get like pedicures, things like that?
Never.
Never? You do your own?
I have never gotten my nails done.
Really?
Yeah.
Have you ever heard of a medical pedicure before?
No.
Okay, so it's like when you go see a specialist, it's a specialist in foot podiatrist, right? And when you go to them, they take a look at your nails to make sure they grow correctly. They take a look at your toe alignment. They make sure you don't have any dead skin, no fungus.
Yeah.
They do all the work there. It's like the cleanest you could possibly get. Like a lot of times you go to nail salons. Sometimes not the cleanest. You may think it's clean, but it's not the cleanest. Sometimes they don't cut your nails correctly. Some people end up with like ingrown toenails and things like that. So like when you go to a podiatrist though, absolutely top notch.
Okay.
What'd your thoughts be on going to somebody like that? Because maybe you're not comfortable going to.
I think that would be more like medical wise. Like I could be into that one because like the way you cut your nails, sometimes it can grow into your toes. So like I think my toes starting to do that, and I'm like. It's not really bothering to like a point where it hurts, but it's like definitely like when you cut your own nails, you're just like I see that. It's gross.
So maybe going to somebody like that and letting them tell you like this is the way to cut them,
that
right?
Makes sense. I'd be more comfortable with that.
Absolutely. And so, how often do you wear like open toe shoes, sandals, flip flops?
A lot.
Like
I go to the beach or just kind of go barefoot.
Yeah, I mean in California, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Like when in Rome, but when in California, you do that. How often do you go barefoot?
Especially if I'm near the beach, like say it's like a cloudy day too, like I'm not even wearing shoes right now.
Yeah, you're not.
I just was trying to like walk up.
You was trying to hurry up and do what you had to do.
Yeah, basically. But if it's a cloudy day, I can walk around anywhere as long as it's not too gross on the ground. Like here, I know it's clean because it's a lot more just maintenance going on around here. A lot more street parking or street sweeping. But say if it was in the middle of the city, I would never. That sounds gross.
It's a lot of stuff that goes on.
Yeah, exactly.
You ever heard of earthing, grounding? Because you're kind of doing it and you don't even know you're doing it. Okay. Like going barefoot and like just having your feet in the grass, the dirt, the sand, like that, just feeling like that that feeling from the earth, that most natural, being at one with everything. You're doing it and don't even know that you're doing it. So, I mean, because do you feel a difference like when you're wearing shoes and then when you're barefoot and you're like in grass and things like that?
It feels nicer. I'm used to it. Plus, once you get
that's supposed to be the whole point.
Yeah. It feels fine.
All right. And so now, can we see what your feet look like up close?
Not for free.
Not for free. So you're charging? That's what you say?
Honestly, I might.
Okay.
I might hop on that once I feel comfortable about that.
Okay. But, so that's something where you're like, right now, you're not into that. Let me talk to you about the mental health where I got started, right? So have you ever heard of DBT before?
No.
Okay. You have a therapist?
No.
Okay. So I was listening to a guy on YouTube and his therapist was telling him about DBT. And so DBT is for people who like suffer from anxiety, depression, like a fear of living in the moment, right? So these are people who like they're presented with a subject or a situation and they overthink the situation. They think about like all the negative things that could happen from that situation, right? So what therapists prescribe for people who like deal with that type of thing, go out. Like if you have a fear of approaching strangers, go out and approach strangers, right? Do it over and over again.
Yeah, until you're comfortable with it.
Yeah, exposure therapy. Get yourself used to that uncomfortable feeling. Yeah. And when you're in the moment and you start to feel uncomfortable, do a self-assessment, ask yourself what's the worst that's going to happen, right?
Yeah.
And if you can't find anything that's like going to threaten your life or your safety, do the opposite of what the negative emotions are telling you. Yeah. Proceed. What are your thoughts about DBT?
I've done that many times.
So do you live like that?
Oh yeah.
Oh okay. That's pretty nice, man.
Dude, surfing especially, it's like it's a lot of screw it moments.
Yeah.
Just like that's a huge wave. I can either get this or not.
Wow.
Like you can't really hesitate with it.
Yeah.
So you just go.
So you're doing that on a daily basis.
Yeah,
that's sweet. You're 18. You're already doing that. That's really sweet. So let's go on to reflexology. Like I said, you might be familiar with it. Reflexology deals with the different pressure points we have in our hands and feet, right? you have all these pressure points, nerve endings that lead back to other parts of your body. So through massage, acupuncture, acupressure, things like that, you can actually alleviate like stress and tension throughout your body. Have you heard of it? Like, are you familiar with it now, or is it still something that you never heard of? Okay, yeah, you've heard of it. You just didn't know the term, right? Yeah. So what are your thoughts on like about reflexology? What it could do for you, like more of a natural means, right?
I would love to do that.
Absolutely.
I have so many I feel like everyone has so many like stress. And
you do.
Yeah, exactly.
And you'll feel it like when you go to do something and like you feel that little tweak in your back or your knee or something, and you're like, oh my god, and reflexology can help with that.
Exactly. I don't know. I just don't have the money for that. I'd have to pay for that.
I understand. What I'm trying to do right now with my channel, because my channel is starting to evolve. I'm going to try to partner up with like different podiatrists, reflexology specialists, so I can offer that to like people I interview. Like, hey, if you want to go check it out, discount rate or whatever like that. So look forward to that. We'll see what happens. Absolutely. So let's wrap up the interview now. Okay. In terms of my approach, when I walked over and I asked you to do the interview, what were your thoughts on my approach?
Screw it. Why not?
Screw it. Why not?
Okay. But also you came up with like a very friendly, like approach, and I think a lot of people would be like off-putting about that. I don't know. People around here sometimes aren't friendly.
Yeah, it happens. Yeah. I've approached some people like they give me eye contact and smile, and I say, "Hi, how you doing? Could I?" And they just act like they never saw me.
Exactly.
And I'm just like,
just at least nicely turn him down.
Yeah, and for me, my attitude is the same way whether you say yes or no. I'm like, okay, thank you, have a great day.
Exactly.
But it's like that happens like sometimes, and I'm just like, wow, that's interesting, man.
Right? Especially, I don't know. In the area, low key, you'll
little
get
bougie.
A little bougie.
A little bougie. So, in terms of the interview, right, start to finish, did you see how everything was going along? Like, did it make sense to you? Did you learn anything new from the information I provided?
I realized. I learned about reflexology.
Okay.
But other than that, everything else I was kind of already doing. And,
okay. What about the medical pedicure?
Oh yeah, medical pedicure.
Absolutely.
I might look into that actually.
Sweet. All right. And the last thing I'll ask, from a mental health standpoint, maybe a life lesson you learned, some wise words somebody said to you once that you can share with my channel that could be helpful.
Basically, like you said, live in the moment, live in the present. Like, I often compare to myself to like people who are less fortunate because we are in a first world country. Like there's my brother used to be in the army, and like he always used to come back and just like, dude, like you don't understand. Like we are so fortunate to be here and like have everything that we have. Like we have paved roads, and it might not be like big, but it is like a big thing. Like, dude, like look what's going on now.
Places don't
like
have running water,
like
heat and things like that.
Like the most extreme example is Afghanistan. We're not living in like constant war and constant like fear of our lives. Like
you go to this side, something going on.
Basically, like
you're in the middle, involved in it. Yeah, it's crazy, man.
Exactly. Just be thankful for what you have in general. Is what I try to do.
Absolutely. Well, thank you so much. Appreciate you stopping to take the time to do the interview. And hopefully you have a good time out there training and straightening those waves, right?
Thank you.
All right.